Welcome to the Mastering Business Skills podcast, where we interview successful small business owners who share their own journey, mastering the skills they needed to grow and be successful in their business. Learn the struggles, the wins, and all the things they learned along the way, so you can cut down on your own learning curve.
Welcome to Mastering Business Skills. Today we're talking to Michelle Correnti, the CEO and founder of Correnti Marketing, a branding and digital marketing agency. With over a decade of experience, Michelle has built a reputation for helping professional service providers to turn their often complex expertise into clear, compelling messaging that boosts visibility, attracts ideal clients, and builds lasting trust. Every solution is customized to meet the client's goals and elevate their brand. Welcome to the show, Michelle.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. So tell us a little bit about what you do and what inspired you to start your business.
Yeah, so we do everything from branding to content marketing. So we handle everything from messaging to logos, websites, SEO, to the content marketing side of things. So we'll help with social media, email marketing, and kind of everything in between. And we help service providers, mostly in the professional services realm. And for me, I've always had this passion about branding. And I've always been drawn to people who provide services, because I think when it comes to marketing, it's more interesting to me to market the people behind a service and what makes their service different, as opposed to, let's say, like a product, which it might not be necessary for someone to purchase what you're trying to convince them to purchase. So for me, I've always been drawn to that service marketing realm. And I started my business because I felt like there was a gap in the market for helping professional service firms, create that clear, strong, consistent branding, and also to market them in a way that keeps them top of mind. Because in the professional services realm, if you think about it, when someone needs a specific service or an advisor, they'll often go to the first person they think of, or they'll go to a trusted colleague or advisor that they already have, maybe like an accountant or a financial advisor. And if you're not top of mind for that referral source, like that advisor, or if you're not top of mind in general, they're going to go to someone else. So a lot of what we do is based in that kind of understanding. And yeah, I just feel this innate desire to help professional service firms and, keep them top of mind and really have clear messaging for them.
Yeah. Awesome.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah.
So please talk about mastering business skills on the podcast. What is one skill that you've mastered that you can share with the audience now, and they can either learn about it or even implement it on their own?
Yeah, I was thinking about this when you had sent over the questions before, and I was like, it's so hard to be like, how can I teach the skill here? But I have some good ideas for you. I think I've really mastered the skill to translate a business's expertise into clear, consistent, and compelling messaging that attracts not only their ideal clients, but also their ideal referral sources, like we talked about earlier. And, we'll do that through websites, social media, emails, all of that, and even down to the visual identity, like how they're perceived visually. And I think if someone wanted to learn this skill today, I would start by first asking yourself, or even better, asking a friend or a colleague to visit your website, your social profile, things that you're using to market yourself, and ask them if they understand what you do, who you serve, and how you help them. I think it's even better if you ask, for example, I don't know if anyone else feels this way, but growing up, I never understood what my dad did. And I think it's better to even ask a friend that you assume they know what you do, but really they don't, because most of us don't really know what our friends do. So if you were to ask them, can you look at my website? Can you tell me in your own words what you think I do or who I serve? And if they can't answer that question, then that's a starting point. That means you've got some inconsistencies there, or maybe what you're saying. The other thing I find a lot is I'll talk to someone and I'll be like, oh my gosh, this is great. I need to send you so-and-so, you need to talk to them. And then I go to their website after I talk to them and I'm like, wait, that's not what we talked about at all. So if you find that you're talking about yourself in a certain way, but your messaging online, whether it's your website or your LinkedIn or things like that, is not matching what you're saying, that's a sign as well that you're not, you might be working on your messaging in person, but not online, which is confusing for people.
Right. That's great advice because I know Erin and I have run into this all the time with clients, and it's like, what is it that you do? Because
Yes.
we're
Mhm.
not really sure after looking at your website what it is you do or who you
Yeah.
serve.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's great advice. And I have friends look at mine. I have, well, like we were talking about before the show, my son is probably one of my biggest critiques.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
he'll be watching and critiquing this.
I love that. I love
Yeah,
that. I think
but
it's great.
that's great advice for people because sometimes we don't really project what it is that we do truly.
And I think it's like very true for professional service providers and as well, like and in particular, because they're so knowledgeable what they do that they don't understand how to necessarily translate that, or they just make assumptions that people get what they do.
Yeah.
And most people don't understand what you do. So you have
Yeah.
to help them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. As being a tech person, my husband tells me all the time, you don't think like other people and you assume that people know what you know.
Yes. Yeah.
They don't.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll often tell people, like, don't be afraid to act like you're over explaining to someone because most people are going to nod and be polite, but really they don't know what you're talking about. So just assume they don't know anything and just be politely explain it. You don't have to be like,
Right,
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so let's talk a little bit about why it's important for any size business, whether they're big or small, to have great content, consistent branding, and a well-optimized LinkedIn profile. And the LinkedIn thing, I'll be honest, I am horrible at mine.
You're not alone. Yeah, I think it's a great question. I mean, it's kind of circles around what we've been talking around about this morning. Um, Having that consistency, you want to present yourself in a way that feels representative of you, what you do, the level of your service. But B, you want that consistency across all the platforms because when people are going from platform to platform, you want them to see that you put care into it and that the messaging is the same across them. Otherwise, you're going to create confusion. And when there's a prospect that is confused about what you do, they're less likely to hire you, especially when it comes to professional services. Like we're looking for trusted people to do like usually something that's very important to us, even if it's something like someone hiring me for marketing, like that's a huge thing to let go of is to trust someone else to do your marketing, even though it's like, like fun or all the things that you might describe marketing as. So you want to trust someone. And if you don't understand what they do or feel confused or unsure, you're probably not going to hire them. It's usually the people like the quickest sales that you'll ever make are when someone already has like been referred to you, they've seen your website and they're like, yeah, this is it. I've got it. I'm so good to go. And then LinkedIn's such an interesting one. So LinkedIn's becoming one of the most used like social platforms, especially in the pro business world. And it's such a great place. Like if you should be connecting with everyone that you meet on there. You should be posting regularly. Again, it's trying to make sure that people understand what you do and that you're top of mind. So if you're showing up periodically in their newsfeed, you're going to stay top of mind for them. And hopefully you're doing things that relate to what you do so that they have a better understanding. You don't want to just post, like fun or silly things or you like out and about because that's great, but we're still not getting an understanding of what you do, which we've actually helped a client before. He's well known in his sphere for being really funny and he'll go viral for different memes related to what he does. But he hired us to also post for him in addition to what he was doing to help people understand what he does more. So it was like we were doing his funny post, he was doing his funny post, but we were doing more like still like on brand for him, but a little more informational so that it was like helping people better understand what he does. Yeah.
Right. So if you could give one piece of advice to someone, whether they're just starting out in their business or even if they're a seasoned expert, what would that one piece of advice be?
Definitely find people you trust to go for advice and support. I would be literally nowhere if it weren't for the people around me on this journey. Starting from the day that one of my still trusted friends and colleagues and mentors, the day that she came to me and said, you really should consider starting your own business, which she was part of me like starting things up. She was like, I know people that need your help. You'd be great. She was really encouraging. But you need people like that. You need cheerleaders. You need people that you can go to ask, like, what did you do? Or are there things I should be like looking out for? And there's always going to be these stepping stones that you're going to have and a new challenge you're going to face, whether that's deciding if you need to hire a contractor or an employee, and you need to figure out what that means and what that looks like and which one you have to choose. And then if you have to hire an employee, you have to think about, like, what do you need for employees and what does that mean? So I feel like having those people around you that you can go to for advice and also to go for that support that I talked about earlier. Like, there's going to be hard times. Like, running a business is not for the faint of heart. So you have to recognize that it's going to be a roller coaster, and there's going to be times where you just need someone either to vent to or someone to, like, kind of hold you in a way and be like, it's going to be okay. Like, this is going to pass. We're all going to make it out on the other side.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's really important because I know Sharon and I have done that for so many years now, like 15 years. We've been that, like, what do you think of this offer? Like, how does this sound? Does this page make sense? And
Yes.
we know that the other one's going to tell us if it doesn't. They're not going to be like, oh yeah, it looks good. Like,
Yeah.
sometimes I'll go to my family and they'll be like, yeah, it looks good. I'm like, did you even look at it? So
yes, yeah. I feel that way. I feel lucky now too. I have a team, which is awesome, and I adore them. But when we're hiring someone, I'll frequently, when we're like deciding between two candidates, I'll frequently be like, look, this person feels like they would fit in perfectly, but I also feel like they're just going to be a yes man. And the other person feels like they will fit in as well, but they're not going to be a yes man. I need someone who's going to be like, no, we should think about this, or why are we doing it this way? Or, and obviously you don't want someone that's going to make your life difficult, but there's a level of, like, I feel like I'm this way where I'm not necessarily going to take everything at like face value, which is why I like what I do. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And even having those people that are a little bit further ahead of you or a little bit ahead of you, to be like, hey, when you were at this stage, what did you do? Or what would you suggest I do based on, whatever information?
Yes. Yeah. Don't be afraid to ask people for help when you run into something, because everyone has experienced it. Whatever you're experiencing, someone else has experienced it, and they will have something to share with you.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
That's very true. Very true.
Yeah. So, Michelle, I know you're involved in your community in a few different aspects, including arts and music. So tell us why this is important to you, and also why you believe other entrepreneurs should be involved in their communities and how they can best join in, especially if they're new to an area and really don't know anybody or know about the area yet.
Well, that's such a great question. So for me, I've always been drawn to music and the arts ever since I was little. I'm obsessed with music. It's like a mainstay in my life. And I know, so I moved to Portsmouth, New Hampshire about 3.5, 4 years ago. It's a small town, New England town on the coast. It's amazing. I'm obsessed with it. And every summer they have this summer-long concert series and musical that runs the entire summertime. And it's completely free and accessible for anyone. It's donation-based. So for me, I just felt this, like, I was going to these concerts, you're donating some cash at the gate, you're going in, you're enjoying these concerts, and you're looking around and you're like, look at this community together, enjoying this artist. It's bringing everyone together. We're all experiencing this in the same, instance. And it just felt so incredible and heartwarming. And it really just shined a light for me that I would love to get involved more, especially with that nonprofit organization, the Prescott Park Arts Festival. So in my experience, I eventually, after about 2 years of being in Portsmouth, I had decided Prescott Park Arts Festival was something I was really interested in getting involved with. And to be honest, I'm the kind of person that I'll just work my network. This is my advice. If you want to get involved in your community, use your network, and just like, you never know unless you ask. So I started by asking my network if anyone knew anyone in the Prescott Park Arts Festival, like Ford or the team there. And eventually I got connected with the executive director, and I literally essentially just made a meeting with her and chatted with her and told her how much I was interested in getting involved. And from there, I basically was invited to do like their young professionals group, which we now call the community professionals group. And then now I'm on the board. So it was basically like I inserted myself into a situation where I was showing them I'm interested and I want to be involved and showing them that how I could help. And obviously there was a bit of a right fit situation there with that worked out. But I'm a big fan of like, if you want to get involved, just ask and use your network. And I feel that way about everything in life. You never know unless you ask. And then I would say, as far as your question about why you should get involved, I mean, oh, I could get on a soapbox about this, but I'll keep it short. Our country in general and like the world is lacking so much community. And I think it's so important to get involved in your community and feel this sense of belonging and, you know, bringing people together and being there for each other. So I feel like if you can somehow get involved, it's going to make your life more meaningful and it's going to help other people's lives as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that because I started volunteering years ago when I started my business, and I also find too that when you're struggling with something, when you're volunteering and helping somebody else, it kind of takes your mind off of what you're going through and gives you that space to actually come up with solutions to what you're going through, even though you're not focused on it.
Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you learn so much about yourself and others. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So tell us a little bit about what success means to you and how your definition of it may have changed over the years.
Yeah. When I was younger, it was like very classic, you know, success is getting a lot of money and having nice things. And today, to be honest, when I feel successful is when things are going well with my clients and my team. And I feel like I have a balance in my work and my life. Nothing makes me happier than when I see my clients succeed and my team being praised for their hard work and expertise. It makes me feel like so proud. And when I have that sense of balance too, I think that is like a marker of success for me because that's really important to me to have time to enjoy my hobbies, enjoy my friends and family, actually live life because I think we can get really caught up in working all the time.
Oh, yeah. We're guilty of that.
Yeah, we all are.
Yep, for sure. So what's the next skill you plan to master and why that skill?
Yeah. So for me, my team, we're always working on different skills to, improve our services and stay on top of things in the marketing world. But for me, I want to master the skill of being a CEO. I have a team now, and it's up to me to ensure that we're heading in the right direction and that everyone has the support that they need. So for me, that's something that I'm really trying to master is that skill of being a CEO, which I do think is a skill and it can be worked on. And then outside of work, because I think that's fun too, I just learned snowboarding last winter. So I would love to master that skill. That's like my new personal thing that I'm going to work on over the next few years. Yeah.
That's a big goal.
Yes. I love a challenge.
Yeah,
and I think it's important to challenge yourself outside of work too, because it's kind of like the volunteering. It translates back. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah, I am not so much into the snow, but one of the things that I'd like to master on my side is stand-up paddleboard.
I love stand-up paddleboarding. I believe in you, Erin. Erin, if you want to go paddleboarding, call me. I'm a paddleboarder. Yeah. You
like any tips?
Yeah. The biggest thing with paddleboarding, and women have an advantage because our center of gravity is lower. You just need to. What I tell people when they first get on a board is test the limits of it, like move your feet a little back and forth, and you'll realize how buoyant it is. And that'll help you relax and have your knees a little more relaxed. Like you won't be so locked up. And then you'll realize like, oh, this is not as like tippy as I think it is. Because I think a lot of it's in your head at first. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it. It's a fun one.
So what's next for your business?
Yeah, for us, I am going to continue to build out our team and improve our services and, continue to help more professional service firms grow their businesses. But right now, we're working on some new services that we want to put in the mix. So we've been starting some clients help start LinkedIn newsletters, which is a new thing that's seeing a lot of success in the market right now. So it's fun to always just see like what's going on, what's a new thing that would benefit our clients, and start offering that. So that's what we're working on right now. Things like that.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
That sounds great. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us on the podcast today. And we are going to drop the links to your LinkedIn and your website in the show notes. And so hopefully people will start reaching out to you and connecting on LinkedIn and, building their own network by getting to know you a little bit better too.
Yes, I would love that. Yeah.
Yes. And for anybody listening, we appreciate you tuning in and we hope you are around for the next episode. Thank you.
Thank you.